G'day. Look, I found another one of these really good, like Popular Mechanics, like Popular Science, but it's different. That's why I wanted to show you this one. It's called Science and Mechanics. Now, these magazines were all the rage in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. You know, they were designed to appeal to the home handyman, someone with a technical interest, some mechanically oriented. A lot of people were back then, did stuff for themselves. You could fix stuff, you could build stuff. It wasn't this modern throwaway society. So what we got was magazines like this. And as I say, this combines this sort of Popular Science, Popular Mechanics by putting them into one magazine. It wasn't, of course, Popular Science or Popular Mechanics. It was obviously someone else decided, well, we'll put them both together, we'll make a fortune because it'll appeal to both audiences. And yeah, this is it, 1965, February 1965, long time ago. And let's see what was in here. In fact, this was clickbait. This was a clickbait magazine. And we've got the typical, you know, we've got women being used as props, as they were in the 50s. Tragic these days. You'd get run out of town for objectifying women like this. And big boom in motorised bugs. That's these things here. But the thing that really caught my eye was amazing electronic cures for sexual inadequacy and insanity. My goodness, why would you not buy a magazine like this when it offers so very much? And, well, let's take a look inside, see what's in the pages of this thing. Here we go. And unlike Popular Science and Mechanics, it seems to be, there's still a big focus on, you know, train yourself to become something thing, but it's not so much electronics in this magazine. It's not focused on the electronics. There's a lot of other stuff. An accountant with LaSalle. And you'll see there's also, I think, probably refrigeration and stuff in here as well. There was a broader scope of things you could train for. What have we got here? Train to become an upholstery. Oh, fine, it's a fully, you can be a top craftsman, you get a fully equipped custom upholstery shop. So yeah, you could make your own sofas and things. Again, it's more of a practical thing. You don't have to have a lot of brains, I don't think. Just some good skills, more training, all this sort of stuff. These pages were where these magazines made the money. All this advertising, they really did. Look, you could make $5 an hour with your magic mail plan. Woohoo! This is sort of like online shopping, isn't it? But using mail. Oh, who thought that would be a thing? Editorial. Oh, here's an electronics one. Look, $3 to $5 an hour. My goodness. You know, not a lot of money, is it, back then, when you think about it? Ask Joe Guts. What a column. What a name for a column. Joe Guts. I'm sure that was his real name. Maybe it was. I don't know. Oh, who knows? And here we go. Air conditioning. HVAC and stuff like that was really, really big amongst the people on this. Best organ buy. Now, I get emails in my spam folder mentioning things I should buy for my organs. But this, obviously, deluxe Heathkit. Wow. Transistor organ. You could build this yourself. I didn't know Heathkit did organs, but obviously they teamed up with Thomas and for this Coronado. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, look, guns. Yes, you can't have an American magazine of the era without some guns. Only $5.95 for the Black Vendetta. Ooh, how's that grab you? Science stuff, unusual science bargains, telescopes, a bit of military surplus stuff tended to pop up in those. And here we go, another business opportunity. Make big money selling shoes. Hey, and this was door-to-door. Remember, there's a lot of door-to-door stuff back then. Not so much these days because we've got the interwebs. But it was a different era, different time. Again, $5 an hour. $5 an hour was big money, I suppose. I mean, these days, I don't think anyone works for $5 an hour. So, Lafayette, remember I mentioned in the last video, Lafayette made a lot of stuff. Well, here they are, all transistor walkie-talkies. And of course, transistors were really a thing now. This is 10 years after the last magazine I showcased. So transistors were in common use. 988, that's 2 hours worth of work if you're sharpening saws to buy a set of walkie-talkies. It puts it in perspective, doesn't it? And magic tricks, 1,000 tricks for 10 cents. That is so cheap on a per trick basis if you're buying magic stuff. Start your own business, and see that the emphasis was on not just get trained and employed, but start your own business. You can do amazing things. Well, here we go, 2.5 acres. Wow, $1 down, $10 a month. Full price, $6.95. What a steal at the Meadow Valley Ranchos. Is that New Mexico or something? Is it? Probably, I don't know. Oh, Nevada. Yeah, I knew it would be somewhere out there in the deserty, westy area where land wasn't worth very much. More gun stuff. Everybody loves guns. Can't mention guns on YouTube, get demonetized. And you can build and fly your own Benson copter. So many people built those and so few of them survived. They flew well, but they were very, very difficult to fly. Very easy to get yourself into big trouble with the Benson gyrocopter. And yeah. Oh, this was something I always wanted to build. I saw designs for these. When I was a kid, I always wanted a Van de Graaff generator. Electrostatic generators, 500,000 volts. Imagine the joy that kind of voltage would bring to a young lad's life. And I was just so keen to have a Van de Graaff generator. Never got one because getting a sort of a big metally bowl thing, couldn't find anywhere to get one. So yeah, it was just one of those things. I just satisfied myself by rubbing a comb through my hair when I had hair and picking up bits of paper with it. I suppose does people still do that? Do people know how static electricity works these days? I don't know. Do kids get into that? Or is it they just watch a video on YouTube, I suppose, don't have to do it for themselves? Learn upholstery, watch repair. My goodness, that's a dying art, isn't it? I wonder if anyone still repairs watches. I mean, you just change the batteries, don't you? And even then, these days, you get solar assist and, you buy a new watch instead of changing the battery, it's easier. More guns, an 8-shot 22 caliber revolver for just $15. It's only 3 hours work if you're sharpening saw blades. That's pretty good, eh? Ooh, how many of those could you buy in a day? This is, I saw this. This is really, really interesting. It is the, what do they call it? Did have a name, can't remember. Turbonique, that's it, Turbonique. This was an incredibly interesting piece of kit. Now, you've all seen the jetpacks that were around in the 60s, with the bottles on the back and, the Bell jetpack or jet belt or whatever they called it, and it would fly for about 20 seconds. And this works on the same fuel, the same principle. What happens is this is fed with hydrogen peroxide, very pure hydrogen peroxide, and it's passed over a silver mesh, which acts as a catalyst and causes the hydrogen peroxide to break down into water, oxygen, and a lot of heat. And that heat instantly flashes the water into steam, so you get massive amounts of power out of a relatively small amount of fuel. And in here we've got a turbine. It's like a turbocharger. There's a power turbine. So the fuel comes into this chamber here, reacts with the silver mesh, comes out as steam through that turbine, which drives gears through there, and then you put it on your Volkswagen Beetle and you can do 138 miles an hour. Not for very long or with much control, but you can do it. At 10.2 second elapsed time on standing quarter. That's pretty damn impressive. I don't know how many of these were sold. I think some, but I don't think they really were the success they hoped they would be because there were issues. Yeah, there were some issues. Keeping the whole thing together and actually getting your hands on super pure hydrogen peroxide is another issue. But hey, this I would love to have had one of those. I'm sure someone out there must have one still that isn't blown up, but I think most of them probably died a pretty gruesome death. And here's something you don't see every day. Foot-long eggs. How clever is that? Oh, accordions. Anyone remember the piano accordion? That used to be all the rage at parties in the 60s. Yeah, fortunately those days are long gone now. What else have we got? RCA, saw blade sharpening. That was quite a big thing. You could earn money, $3 to $6 an hour. So that's okay. Slingshots, art. Oh no, can't look at that. Get demonetized. And yeah, pretty average stuff. Now, one of the things that, we saw the things on the, check the kind of body you want. Goodness me, those were the days before Schwarzenegger and Stallone, when that was a He-Man body, none of this steroid stuff. Things have changed a bit there. Look, you could build your own car. Who wouldn't want to build their own car? Fantastic. And, remember the last magazine? There were some tape recorders. It took up a whole passenger seat in a car. Well, look, 10 years later, miniaturized, micro-miniaturized. These are portable tape recorders. They're not cassette decks, no, they're reel-to-reel, portable reel-to-reel tape decks. Look, cassette, the first Philips. Carry recorder. Or Norelco, okay, so it looks a bit like the Philips one. $119. So if you're earning $5 an hour, work out how long it takes you to, that was half a week's salary just to buy, or wages, just to buy one of those tape recorders. That's amazing. We are so spoiled today with our low cost. Here we go. They had, car tests, eh? The hot dart. Oh, no, don't look. Don't look at the next page. Here we go. This is what was on the cover. Your brain is the target. Oh, okay. Now, this is stuff that you could not publish in a magazine today. Look at this, seriously. And the caption says, racist monkey, bad-tempered, what does it say? Bad-tempered to start with, becomes extremely vicious after an ESB shock to certain brain sites. Well, you shove a wire up someone's backside and electrocute their brain. Of course, they're going to be a little bit upset about it, even if they're a monkey. That's horrible. But this was the norm. Animal testing and all that sort of stuff, quite normal. And it was okay to put it in a mainstream magazine, that you were electrically stimulating the brains of monkeys and making them very cross and angry. Electronic and chemical stimulation of the brain may lead to push-button control of humans. Social media does that. We don't need electronic stimulation. And look, you can... Sexual impotence. New cures include brain stimulation by drugs and electronic sex packs. Well, how come that hasn't become a thing? I mean, you'd think since 1965 they could have packaged this up and sold it to the public. Maybe it just didn't work. Maybe it was just stupid. And this shows you just how little understanding they had of the brain. We don't have a lot today, but they had even less back then. Look, this is an electronic replica of the human brain. Let scientists study the mysteries of just how a thought is created in the brain's millions of nerve cells. Millions? Billions, perhaps? I don't know. Look, that's an electronic brain. Seriously. Seriously. I wonder if Google's got a warehouse full of these things and that's how it does its AI. You never know. You never know. And it says we may never be able to mate a computer brain with a human brain with a computer brain, but we are close to creating an electronically controlled man. Well, actually, no, isn't Elon Musk talking about building computer chips into brains and giving you a human brain, a brain to computer interface? So this may not be true. Who would have thought it wouldn't be true? Look, here's some brains, animal brains. Ooh, look at that. And the electronic control of bodily functions could adapt humans to long space flights, because this was still in the era when we thought we were going to be travelling long distances within the next decade or two. And, you know, missions to Mars and all that sort of stuff. What's new? Wow. Yeah. Strange mystery of the red tide. I guess that's some kind of algal bloom. Oh, here we go. Look, gas stations in space, refueling manned vehicles in space could eliminate the need to build enormous and costly one-shot rockets for our first trips to Mars and Venus. There we go. See, they thought we were going to Mars. They thought we were going to Venus. They thought it'd be so easy. Jump in a rocket ship, off you go. They forgot all about radiation and the time frames involved and all the many, many other things that effectively have thwarted any real plans to travel that far away. I think this is about the point, I think, when these magazines start to go all silly and they just have continuations of previous articles. Oh, and here we go. Motorised bugs. I mean, a bug for racing. I guess these were very lightweight pod-type vehicles that were used to set speed records. Oh, here's a Relago wing thing you can tow with a helicopter. I don't think that's a very clever idea, and that's probably why we don't see these things these days. An air trailer, basically. Yeah, okay, never mind. But look at this. Look at this. Look. That is the tuned pipe out the back. Nope, it's not coming, it's going. Long tail pipe is tuned for maximum power increase. So obviously they had two-stroke engines, and well, there's an engine in there. And yeah, and get some speeds. The single-cylinder mill was hopped up to 12 horsepower and turns at 15,000 RPM. So I guess it's about, what, 50 cc or something, not even that. And here we go, we're back to the objectifying women. Look, what tricycle would be complete without a woman in a very modest bikini? Down here, she's taking care of her husband's golf clubs. Over here, she's sitting on a boat or something, is it? Yeah, it's all, look at this. Look at this. I remember when these were a thing, like little pit bikes, but they were like, yeah, crazy. Why would you? These days, you can buy one from China for 20 bucks. Oh, look, that's Daniel Boone. If you're as old as me, you'll remember a series on television called Daniel Boone. Starred a guy called Fess Parker, is it? Yeah, Fess Parker. Fess Parker. He was Daniel Boone. There was a song, Daniel Boone was a man. He was a big man. Anyway, and it was like every kid watched this program. It was really good for a kid when you're that old. But obviously, Daniel Boone rides one of these little bikes, and he's one with two back wheels. Oh, seriously. So much crazy stuff went on back in the 1960s. And it's fortunate not all of it's in here. Furniture. I guess there's probably going to be a whole heap of furniture stuff, because this was for the man that did it yourself. This was for the blokes that got out there with their saws and their wood and did stuff for themselves rather than buying stuff. Yeah, more furniture. What's this? Electro Travel is an original electronically operated game designed and constructed by R.E. Pickering. This month's first prize winner, a map of the US dotted with hundreds of brads representing cities, states, lakes, etc. is crossed by the players. A panel of 123 lights determines how a player must move. Seriously, look, this guy had way too much time on his hands. It's very simple. You take 123 lights, 3,000 feet of wire, 23 relays, and 3,568 solder connections, mix well for 420 hours over a 10-month period, and if you're Richard E. Pickering of Des Plaines, Illinois, you come up with a fantastically complex electronic game called Electro Travel. Really, seriously, you could do this with a small pick micro these days for less than $1. Technology, it's wonderful. Okay, talking about thermostats. Do you turn your thermostat down to keep the temperature, to save power at night? And oh, look at that. Now, if you've got a teenage daughter of your head, wouldn't she just be over the moon if you built her this vanity table, which actually looks like an apple box with a mirror on it? She'd be just so pleased. You'd be a dad for life, wouldn't you? You'd be, look at that. Oh, look, you can build it with your own little tools and screwdrivers and things. What a gift for the teenager that has everything. Fantastic. Some more ideas, more products and things. I don't know. It's all pretty... Oh, there's a woman in the shower. Oh, that looks like the woman out of... what is it? The Alfred Hitchcock thing, you know, with the scissors? I don't know who that is. Oh, S&M. I just realised the name of this. It's the S&M magazine. My goodness, S&M. Okay, and down here, yeah, sexual inadequacy and, oh yeah, okay, S&M tests. I didn't see that one coming. I have to say, I didn't see that coming. The speed control is in the trigger, 0 to 2,000 RPM at the tip of your finger. That's got to hurt. Yeah, electric drills. You don't see corded electric drills much anymore, do you? It's all cordless now with lithium batteries and, yeah, but having a drill powered by the mains power was a thing back in the day. There you go. Oh, free slide rule. My goodness. Calculator. I've got slide rules. I've done videos, I think, on my slide rules. Brainstorm. Here's this is make the greenies very happy. Reuse, repurpose, I don't know, something. If your broom's worn out, if your wife has thrashed the living days out of that and it won't fly anymore, you know, if she's got a new broom, she's traded the, you know, she's like bought a new one with higher mileage and whatever, you can take the old broom, you can make it a rack, you know, thing out of it, a bar you can hang your shirts on. Look at that. Brilliant. Yes. And if you've got an old freezer, you can take the door off it, bury it in the ground and make it into a little pond. What a fantastic use for an old freezer. Seriously. Seriously, how would you plug it in? It would freeze the water. It's no good at all. You can build a boat. Building boats. Yeah, people built boats. This was before the days of fiberglass and, you know, it was all made of wood, you know, pre-carbon. What else have we got? Oh, an infrared de-icer. Melts ice on your windshield. That'd flatten your battery in no time, wouldn't it? Absolutely. Oh, look. Electric spacecraft. This is the future. I don't know how many times I've seen, you know, plans for these electric-powered spacecrafts and it flies without propellers. It basically, you apply very high voltage to this through a very fine wire that they don't show you, and it causes what they call ionic wind. It's basically the air is charged, ionized, and it actually flows away from the craft, which causes the craft to lift up. So it's like an incredibly weak amount of thrust produced. That's why this is such a little intricate lace network spider work of things. It has to be very, very light for it to work. But these guys saying, oh, it'll send us to the moon and everything, you know, it's got all the power to do everything you want. That's all rubbish. It's just overhyped. I'm sure, actually, what will happen next is Elon Musk will see this and he'll call it the Tesla lift engine, and he'll be saying that we can put these on spacecraft and we can put them on our cars, and yeah, because that's what Elon Musk does. I'm not an Elon Musk fanboy, I've got to say. Oh, look, I wanted these when I was a kid. X-ray specs, and how can they make them so cheap? How can they make them so cheap? Because, of course, you know, X-rays, they're hard to make. But these were just a thing. They were like, every kid wanted a set of X-ray specs. And actually, I saw an article once in one of these magazines where you could make your own, and you used a feather, because all it does is create kind of a halo around the object you're looking at. So it looks like you can actually see under the clothes, but you can't, because it's just a sort of an aura produced by a fine mesh of or fine grid, and I think you get like diffusion. It causes diffusion, and you end up with something that looks a little bit like you're looking under someone's clothes, but it's not really. It's a fraud. It's a fake. Don't buy it. Don't waste your 1/5 of an hour's wages on these X-rays. Sorry, I'm giggling. Ruptured. You don't see that often in a magazine anymore, do you? Ruptured. What does that mean? Well, of course, I think it's for people with hernias. I had a hernia once, but I had it fixed, and it's really good now. It's all sorted, but ruptured. Yep, what a fantastic headline for an advertisement. Yeah, I think it's probably, 10 movies for $2. Netflix? No? Oh, okay. Fantastic. I don't know how that works, but I'm not interested. And a truck that flies in the next edition. There you go. That's probably all we're going to see in here. All the rest of it's just classified advertising. there you go. That was another look at another magazine from the past, from long way back in the past. And yeah, you can see why magazines aren't a thing anymore, can't you? But yeah, the S&M magazine, brilliant, fantastic. I hope you've enjoyed this little browse through the history. If you want more of these, because I've got plenty of weirdo magazines from, 40, 50 years ago, 60 years ago. I've got plenty of them lying around. If you want me to browse through them with you and have a look, then just say so, and we'll do it again. In the meantime, thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. You'll notice there were no mid-roll ads in this video because I hate them with a passion, and my Patreon supporters make sure that you don't have to deal with them. So give them a big thanks for that. If you want to support the channel, there's links in the description you can go to. And if you just use the affiliate link, it won't cost you a bean when you buy anything from Banggood. But I will get a tiny little bit of coin, which goes towards helping me make extra videos. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now.